Wake up, you ain't heard the news. Thank you for joining me here on the Fast Break Sports Hour. Happy Friday edition, TGIF. A lot of y'all getting this day started right and ending even better. It is Friday, the end of the week, going into the weekend. Hopefully, you guys all live your days in happiness so that you don't have to wait for the weekend to have fun. Have fun every day. And that's all I got to say about Friday. But it is Friday, and we have a full slate of NFL games today and tomorrow. MLB in full effect. Still no news on Des Bryant and the Cleveland Browns. Nothing that's concrete yet. And Nick Foles. Nick Foles gets hurt in last night's game against the New England Patriots. And some other things about Carson Wentz that really, it's time to start wondering if he's going to be ready for week one of the NFL season, that Thursday night opener against the Minnesota Vikings. And with that, thank you for joining me on the Fast Break Sports Hour, YouTube Live. Appreciate y'all for the support. Subscribe, comment, like, whatever it is, or just watch. It's all good. We're just doing sports here. I'm Jesse, and I'm here to bring y'all my opinion, giving y'all some updates, some scores, and just how I feel about the landscape of sports at this moment. And with that, we're going to start off with Nick Foles and the defending champion Philadelphia. I was going to say 76ers. The 76ers wish they were defending champions. That's going to take a little bit. But they got a little thing going there with Ben Simmons. And hopefully Markelle Fultz can step his game up. Joel Embiid, that's an all-pro right there. That's an all-star, but all-NBA player. But we're not talking about the Sixers. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. Nick Foles, yesterday against the New England Patriots, he gets hit from the blind side. It's kind of like a strip sack. And as he's winding to the throw, he gets the ball knocked out of his hand. Motion still going full force. Hurts his shoulder. He comes off the field, and reports are it was just a strained shoulder. So nothing that's come out to say that he's going to miss any games. But if he does, I think that the bigger question is Carson Wentz ready? Is he going to be ready for week one, whether or not Nick Foles is able to go week one? I mean, obviously you have that safety net and Nick Foles to start off that repeat or chance for a repeat for the Philadelphia Eagles and trying to it's when you're the champion, everyone's gunning for you, so it's going to be tough for them coming out the gates. But Nick Foles, he did it the last couple games of the season, was able to have that beautiful playoff run and capping it off with that Super Bowl victory over Tom Brady and the Patriots, who was the opponent last night. So Nick Foles, nothing too serious there so far. Nothing's come out since then, but he says he feels, pretty good. It doesn't feel as bad as it did when it first happened. And he said he should be ready to go for next week, but we'll see if anything comes out of Philadelphia that says otherwise. But so the bigger question for me is Carson Wentz. They got Nick Foles there to start the season off if Carson Wentz isn't ready. But when will he be ready? And it just brings questions as if he's not ready for week one, week two, week three. Let's say the Eagles start off 3-0 and Carson Wentz still hasn't gotten a chance to start, obviously, and or shown that he can come in and play. And let's say they're 3-0 and he's ready to go week four. Do the Philadelphia Eagles then put Nick Foles on the bench if they start 3-0 and then bring Carson Wentz to kind of, get back to where he was at last year. Do they do that? Obviously, we know Carson Wentz is the now, is the future. He's the gold standard in quarterbacks right now. But do you disrupt the rhythm even if it is early on in the season? So that's a big thing to look out for. I'm not too sure how well Carson Wentz is coming along. I thought he was going to be ready to play at least a couple of these preseason games to kind of show he can knock the rust off and get ready for week one. But right now, it's looking like Nick Foles all the way week one, that opening game. It's going to be a big one, too, against the Minnesota Vikings, a rematch of the NFC Championship game. No Case Keenum, no. They got Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins looking pretty fiery early on in that first game. We'll see how he does in tonight's game. I believe they play tonight. No, they actually play tomorrow against Jalen Ramsey's Jacksonville Jaguars. I had, a little thing I had on Jalen Ramsey. If you watched yesterday's show, he really likes Kirk Cousins, so there's that matchup. But back to the Eagles and Patriots last night. Tom Brady, man, I said he was going to play, and but I didn't know he was going to play as much as he did. Nothing too crazy, but he threw the ball over 25 times. He completed 19 out of 26, had about 177, 78 yards, two touchdowns, obviously no picks, doesn't miss a step. And he was able to do that against the defending champion defense of the Philadelphia Eagles. So he's showing that nothing's changed. There is no changing of the guard when it comes to who the best quarterback in the league is when it comes to just clutch play and winning. I have my opinion on who's the best quarterback when it comes to talent, and that's my opinion. It's Aaron Rodgers. But when it comes to just winning and knowing what he has to do to get it done, and obviously he has talent, but he doesn't have what Aaron Rodgers has when it comes to the mobility, being able to extend plays, and plays on the run and still stay in the pocket and create those passes. Tom Brady's great at shuffling in the pocket and just you know there's a lot of dink and dunking going on for the Patriots, but he does it perfectly, and he is the greatest quarterback of all time. To me, he's not the most talented quarterback in the NFL right now. But Tom Brady looking good, man. He good to go. So there's no issues there. There's no age there. He looks crispy. So crispy dollar bill. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers as well had his first preseason action last night. Looked fairly decent. Was 4 for 8, but had a touchdown drive to cap things off on that series that he had with the ones going against Pittsburgh Steelers. And I had misspoke because I thought Ben Roethlisberger was going to get his first action, but I guess he had some issues in practice to where at first it was a head issue, and then later it came out to say that it wasn't nothing to do with a concussion, so no biggie there. They just held him out for precautionary measures, and so yeah, Ben Roethlisberger did not play. But man, they have a couple of runners on that team that if Le'Veon Bell doesn't come back, man, like Jonathan Connor, that dude's looking pretty good. So I don't think they'll lose a step. Obviously, he's not Le'Veon Bell, but he's looking pretty good as a backup running back, and he was the backup running back last year. Last year, he was a rookie for the Pittsburgh Steelers. James Washington, the receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was also off the chain. He played wonderful last night. Man had a big game. Look up the stats. A rookie wide receiver, smaller in stature, but he's got the build. He's got some muscle on him, and he might be playing a slot, but man, he can get it done. So watch out for James Washington this year. They're the first wide receiver they drafted this year early in the NFL draft. So Sam Darnold last night against the Washington. Expect things like this with the rookie, but after having that great showing, and I say great compared to other rookie showings, rookie play, so I base it off of that. But it was just bad yesterday. Holding on to the ball too long. Also had his first interception. Just looked like a rookie. Looked like he was lost at times. And when Teddy Bridgewater came in, you kind of saw the big difference there. Teddy Bridgewater continues to be consistent. Not to say that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be the long-term answer. I think at the end of the day, Josh McCown will end up starting Week 1 for the New York Jets, so look out for that. But Sam Darnold kind of took a step back, looked like he was ahead of the group after the first week of the preseason. Now he brought himself back to the group, so we'll see what these other young quarterbacks do. And with that, the young quarterbacks that are playing today, we have Josh Allen going against Baker Mayfield, Buffalo at Cleveland. So look out for that tonight. That's going to be live on NFL Network. Check your local listings for times. We're all in different time zones if you're checking this out. And Arizona, Josh Rosen, looks like he might get to start today against the New Orleans Saints to kind of see how he goes with the ones, how he goes with that starting offensive line, because last week with the backup offensive line wasn't looking too good just as a whole. And I'm not speaking on Josh Rosen. I'm speaking more so about the offensive line was just horrid. Bad snaps, unable to block, just pressure all day for Josh Rosen. Wasn't able to get into a rhythm. So we'll see how Josh Rosen plays in that starting role with the ones and see if anything changes. I still think that if Sam Bradford's healthy, you go with him until he just doesn't produce on the field, or if he gets injured, which he usually does. So look out for that today. Arizona at New Orleans. Obviously, you got Drew Brees, you got Alvin Kamara. They're going to do what they do during the season, so they'll play a little bit. We also have the Miami Dolphins going against Carolina Panthers. Ryan Tannehill versus Cam Newton. I think Ryan Tannehill's got to get back into football mode. So I think these games are important before he gets to that Week 1 matchup. Cam Newton, he is what he is. He's going to provide plays with his feet. He's going to have great games and he's going to have bad games. It just depends on how he's feeling. I think it's more so on his attitude. His attitude provides a lot for that team. And check that game out tonight. And we have the New York Giants at the Detroit Lions. What I look for there is Saquon Barkley going to play. Again, he had a minor setback, just soreness. But I'm wondering if he's going to get a shot to play today or if they're going to hold him out. So look out to see if Saquon Barkley, I haven't heard anything on my side to say that he's going to play or not. Nothing definitive. I've been looking, I've been searching, but I didn't find anything to say that he was going to play or not. That offense, is Odell Beckham going to play today? They're still working on a long-term contract if it gets done at all. So does Odell play today, or do they hold him out until they keep continuing to create a contract that he's going to like, to hammer something out, that to where both sides are happy if it happens at all. So look out to see if Odell Beckham plays, because there's nothing wrong with him physically. It's just it's the contract issue. And he's really ready and willing to play, but I think it's more so of the team, the agent saying, you know what, let's work on this. So it'd be interesting to see if he plays. On Detroit's side, I mentioned Kerryon Johnson yesterday, running back for Detroit. I expect him to continue to push for that starting job. For those of you that play fantasy, man, I'm giving y'all that little nugget. Kerryon Johnson. I'm not saying to draft him in the first or the second round, but keep him in mind as you get to the 5th, 6th, 7th rounds and snatch him up. Kerryon Johnson, see what he does tonight against the Giants. And lastly, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at the Atlanta Falcons. Two teams with weapons galore in the backfield, on the outside with the receivers, tight end more so Travis Kelce for the Kansas City Chiefs, established quarterback in Matt Ryan for the Falcons, and not established, young but hopeful, bright future for Patrick Mahomes, the young quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, their first-round pick last year. It's going to be good to see the development of that kid and see what he does today against the Atlanta Falcons. A good matchup again. Week 2, you're not going to see possibly more than a quarter's worth of starters. So have fun watching that first quarter. Then after that, man, snooze fest. Unless you like to watch football and you like to see these backups and these sleepers, which I like to do sometimes. If I got a shot, I would do that. So check those games out today. Man. I want to talk about this yesterday, but I was under the gun. I had to go real fast yesterday because I had to pick up my son from school, man. It was just one of those things where, I could only do 30 minutes worth of show, but it's all right. I got everything I wanted except for this. a little small tidbit, little small story. So it's about the Denver Broncos and Colin Kaepernick. John Elway was asked a couple days ago if he would think about, playing with the thought of signing or offering Colin Kaepernick a contract to be the backup quarterback. Obviously, because they're having issues with obviously the development of Paxton Lynch, which is null and void. That's just what's going to happen. And they have Chad Kelly, but Chad Kelly still, this is his first full year of action, especially in the preseason. So do you really trust that to go into the season and say he's going to back up Case Keenum? Is Case Keenum going to be healthy throughout the season? And are you comfortable with Chad Kelly having to play a game or a half or multiple games? We don't know what's going to happen with Case Keenum, but it brought up the question because there's a lot of noise going around Dove Valley at Denver Broncos headquarters that they are looking for a veteran quarterback, which I mentioned previously that watch out for RG3 type of signing if and when he gets released from the Baltimore Ravens later on in this preseason. But the Colin Kaepernick question came up, and John Elway basically said he had his chance to sign here in 2016. We offered him a contract. He declined. So there's your answer to that. So he's basically saying, no, we've already offered him a contract. He said no, so we're not going to revisit it. So, and rightfully so. I mean, he's not lying. He's not beating around the bush. He's telling you exactly what it is. It's like, it's like you have this crush on somebody, and y'all been kicking it. Y'all having a good time, having fun. Seems like everything's cool, and you take a shot. You say, hey, maybe we can extend this and make something serious about it. Maybe we can be a couple, not just hang out, and the other, because I'm not going to say boy or girl, because it can be a boy or girl. and the other person is like, no, I see you more as a friend. All right. And then your whole world comes crashing down and you don't know what to do with yourself. Are you going to come back 2 years later and say, do you want to try it now? No, you're not. You're just going to move away. You're just going to go. You're not going to revisit that. Believe in yourself. There's someone else out there for you. And John Elway knows that. He gave them the opportunity. He said, no, your loss. Okay. We're not giving you another shot. So that's that. So I know they're trying to make a big deal about this story, but they got to stop that. If no one wants to sign Colin Kaepernick, that's their prerogative. That's their decision. These are all companies. They all have the right to withhold and not even to extend pleasantries, offers to any quarterback, and anyone that takes offense to that, they can shove it where what don't shine. It has nothing to do with what's going on. They just don't want to sign him. He hasn't played. He's been out of the league. They don't believe he can do it. He took a stand, which I respect. He took a stand. I respect that 100%. I respect anybody's decision on what they do with their lives because that's their life. I don't criticize other people. But what I will say is understand that with whatever you do, there's always something that's going to follow. There's always there's always precaution when you do something big. And you're going to get results, positive and or negative. And these are the results that were provided because he took that stance, which to me, again, is a great stance for him. And he took that, and he's going to be labeled as a leader and a creator of whatever. I don't really like to get into all these kind of talks, but I'm just telling you, it's everyone else's teams. It's all these owners. They have the right to offer and extend anybody they want. It has nothing to do with nothing else. Too bad. Quit trying to make a story of it. There's no story here. Colin Kaepernick will not be a Bronco and probably will not play in the NFL ever again. That's just what happens. But again, to each their own. I don't care. But quit adding to this BS, please. I ask y'all, quit adding to it. There's nothing there. It's just football. And that's it. Maybe at the beginning it wasn't football, but now it's just football. You ain't played, so we're not going to entertain these thoughts. All right, I think that's enough of the football thing. We're gonna get to my power rankings at the end of the show, like I like to do, kind of finish off with the power rankings. Yesterday, I kind of rushed through power rankings, 20 through 17. 17 were the Dallas Cowboys. 18, I had the Tennessee Titans, and there, um, man, where's? Oh, you know what? Actually, I know for a fact. Now I can't find. There it is. So my list is right here. I'm gonna tell you exactly who was 20 to 17 yesterday, and I ran right through it, and rightfully so, man. These teams are like they can be the playoff teams, but okay. So I had at number 20 had the Ravens yesterday, and again I talked about Joe Flacco, and he's obviously the face of that team. You got Terrell Suggs on the defense. I've always liked the way they've managed their defense, and they have new faces at the wideout position. I expect John Brown and Joe Flacco to connect real nice, and that's why they're number 20. To me, they're a dark horse. There's a lot of questions there. They made a push last year to try to get them that last wild card spot, but then they end up losing to the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't know if you guys watched that. They couldn't stop Andy Dalton at the end of the game, so they couldn't get into the playoffs. So they're going to be a team that's going to be a fringe playoff team. I didn't have them going to the playoffs in my predictions, but anything could happen in the preseason. If any of my predictions, if their big players get hurt, I have the right to change my prediction before the season starts. And even if the season starts, the same thing happens. I have the right to change my prediction. So the Ravens are with a 20. Lions were at 19. Again, a team that can go either way. The Titans are number 18, playoff team from last year. I have them going to the playoffs this year, but there's still a lot of questions. I need those young players to step up. I need players like Derrick Henry, Mariota, and Corey Davis to take that next leap, that next level, because the defense is there. But if those three guys can take that next step to where they're supposed to go, then I'll put them back into the top 15, top 12. But I do have them inching to a playoff spot this year. Number 17, the Dallas Cowboys. Their team, again, like I mentioned, the Ravens, they can go either way. It's all dependent on what Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott are able to provide by themselves. Yeah, they're gonna have some help at the wideout with Allen Hurns, but no Jason Witten. And I don't care what anybody says. They're gonna say, well, he was old, but he was still producing, and he was still the leader. And that's a lot. That's not just some cliche where, oh, this guy is a fiery leadership type role guy. No, this guy produces and he helps that offense go. Whether it's blocking or whether it's big third down conversions, that's what he would do. Or goal line, getting them big touchdowns. That's what Jason Witten was doing. So are they going to miss that? So that, to me, the defense is going to be all right. Nothing too shabby. Again, I mentioned DeMarcus Lawrence and Sean Lee. They're going to be the mainstays there. So remains to be seen with the Cowboys, but I had them at 17 to round out my four power ranking teams from yesterday. I got four more today. Again, at the end of the show, before I get done, I'm gonna get to these four teams from 16 to 13, and this is where the teams start getting, man, where I believe, they can do damage, but there's still slight questions, but it is what it is. I got some teams in my top 10 that I don't think are going to make the playoffs, but I have to put them in the top 10 because of what they did last year. I can't just say you're number 20 because, whatever. So it works both ways. But that's that. Let's get to this playoff race in Major League Baseball where the National League, now we've knocked off, and I say we because I'm a Dodger fan, and National League, that's we. Okay. The National League to me has knocked off a couple teams in the wild card race. So basically, they're not going to make the playoffs. I have the Nationals and the Pirates officially eliminated. I had them in there in the hunt. They were like 5.5 out. But with the Nationals losing, what was it, 3 out of 4 to the Cardinals, and the Pirates, they got shut out yesterday by the Cubs, and they haven't. Their little run towards a playoff position halted this week. So I have the Pirates and Nationals out, and I misspoke yesterday. I thought the Cardinals had swept the Nationals. I didn't know it was going to be a series going into Thursday, so they had a game yesterday, and the Nationals were able to get that one-run victory yesterday. So My apologies. I'm not perfect, but it is what it is. I'm giving y'all the real. So the the Cardinals, though they lost yesterday to the Nationals, they're still the hottest team in the National League, and it shows in the standings. So with the Phillies, they split against the Mets, and they have basically a 5 game series against the Mets. So they played today, Saturday, and Sunday. They split yesterday while in the first game giving up 24 runs to the New York Mets. Yeah, they gave up 24 runs to the New York Mets. That was a team record for the New York Mets. Never have they done 24 runs. And they did it on the Phillies in the first part of the doubleheader. Phillies came back, took game two to split the series. So no harm, no foul when it comes to the standings. They're still atop the wild card standings at 67 and 54. They're actually tied with the Brewers, but slightly higher on percentage points because they have one less loss. The Brewers have a 68 and 55 record. So those two teams right now hold the positions, and they're boxing out the other teams, the other 3 teams that are in the wild card hunt. With the Cardinals, man, fiery. It's like, you guys ever play NBA Jams back in the early 90s where dude kept hitting threes, and it's just like, he's on fire. It didn't matter where you shot it from, he made it. The Cardinals right now, the St. Louis Cardinals, they're on fire. It don't matter what's going on. Matt Carpenter doing big things. He was hit by a pitch on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember what day it was. So still trying to see if that's going to be prolonged or if he's already back. But Matt Carpenter's been on the tear for the Cardinals. The team has been on the tear. 8 out of 10. They had an 8 game winning streak. It was snapped yesterday by the Nationals. And actually, the St. Louis Cardinals, they're going to be going against the Brewers starting today. Yes. So that's going to determine a lot just in this week, this phase of the season for that wild card. Because again, the Brewers are, man, one and a half game ahead of the Cardinals. These teams are going to be playing against each other here in from here on out. So it's going to, man, it ain't nothing like a playoff positioning battle, playoff race battle during the season, and you're going head to head with the team that's trying to take your spot. So that's where the Cardinals and the Brewers are going to be at today. That series starts today. We also have the Rockies, who are second behind the Cardinals when it comes to wild card positioning at 65 and 56. They're half a game behind the Cardinals, which makes them 2 games behind the Brewers, but only 1 behind the Brewers in the loss column. So they're still bunched up there. And my Los Angeles Dodgers are 65 and 57. 2.5 games out of the wild card, 2 games out of the division. So that's still in arm's reach, but tough games because the Dodgers have the Mariners, 3 game set in Seattle, and then they got a 4 game series against those hot, he's on fire St. Louis Cardinals. I'm scared. I'm hoping the Dodgers can get some runs going and not have this go into the 9th inning and or get blown out. But it's vital for them to get 2 out of 3 against the Mariners this weekend, and worst case scenario, split against Cardinals. A team's tough when you're hoping for a split. Usually you'll hope for 3 out of 4 or a sweep, but I'm hoping for a split when it comes to the Cardinals. That'll be a victory in my book, but they have to get this series against the Mariners because some of these teams are starting to rev it up a little bit. Luckily, they all play against each other. The Rockies have a series with the Braves, which went back and forth yesterday. It looked like the Rockies were up early, and the Braves came back. It looked like the Braves had a good hold on that lead, and the Rockies came back, finished it off. So Rockies and Braves, 4 game series. Rockies got that first one. And the Diamondbacks, again, right now, going against below 500 teams that are in the basement in their divisions. They're playing the Padres. They got the first win last night, 5-1, and they continue that 4 game series tonight. So hoping for the Padres to do some things, man. Play above your level. Finish strong, but the D-backs will have a tough September. So whoever ends up getting these wild card positions and or divisions, it's going to be well deserved because they're all going to be playing against each other, and they're all going to be playing against top-notch opponents. With the division races, you have the Cubs who are in first and the Brewers are second. I have the Cubs winning that division because they're 5 games ahead of the Brewers in the loss column. 3.5 total, but 5 in the loss column. That's a wrap. The Cubs got that division. It just remains to be seen what seeding they're going to be. Are they going to be the 1, the 2, or the 3? But I have them winning that division. So Brewers best case scenario will take the wild card. And that's where they're going to be at. We're looking at the East now, where the Braves have a small lead on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Braves are 68-52. The Phillies 67-54, 1.5 back. Again, with the Phillies having that long series against the Mets and the Braves that tough series against the Colorado Rockies, then you could see the Phillies leap the Braves this weekend. But again, too close to call right now. And in the West, the Diamondbacks continue their slim hold, but it seems like a cushion because it's either been one game or half a game or tied with somebody. But now they have a 1.5 game lead over the Rockies and 2 full game lead against the Dodgers. Again, they have 7 more games against the Dodgers. I believe 6 or 7 more games against the Rockies. So man, these games are going to be determined in September. This division is going to be determined in September unless something happens to the Dodgers to where they lose. Man, again, they got the Mariners, they got the Cardinals in these next 7 games. If they go 2-5 or worse, they can be back 5 games. That's reasonable to think that they can be back 5 games by the end of next Thursday, which would suck. Because then you talking about they're gonna have to pull off a 9 out of 10 to just get back into shouting distance of the Diamondbacks. So big series for the Dodgers. This is vital. This is vital for the Dodgers. And just a little update on Kenley Jensen is he's gonna throw a simulated game in I think I want to say Monday or Tuesday, and then see where he's at, and then doctors will advise him if he can come back to playing. They're hopeful he can come back sometime by the end of next week, if not the middle of next week. That would be great. I mean, obviously health first, so make sure that's covered. But once that's covered, you got to bring it full force. You have to bring it, LA Dodgers. This is it. There is no more waiting to see, well, when are we going to decide to play hard and make our run? Because no bones about it. No question about it. The LA Dodgers are the most talented team in this division. But unfortunately, the games are not played on paper. But that's a fact. That's not me being biased. You can argue the Dodgers are the most talented team in the National League on paper. That's what I'm saying. But these games are not played on paper. They need to start playing up to their potential. I don't have one player on that team that's hitting over 300 that's regularly in the lineup. That's not good. You should have at least one batter at around 300. Matt Kemp bats 282 and he's their best hitter when it comes to average. That's not good. There's something going on there. I don't know if you got to get this batting coach to step his game up and teach these guys something. You're not going to teach anybody nothing right now, but something has to give. We can't go back to the old Dodgers where you're only scoring 1 or 2 runs every game. You can't do that. You might have the pitcher sometimes to hold the other team to 1 run, 2 runs, but this Dodgers lineup is built to score 5+ runs every single game. So the Diamondbacks, they're on their game right now. They split the Rangers. They beat the Padres. Rockies are on their game right now. They're doing their thing. They beat the Braves. They won 3 out of 4 when it came to the Dodgers over the weekend in clutch fashion. And then they split with the defending champion Houston Astros. So that's big. So these teams are coming up clutch. Dodgers, step your game up if you want to be in this race and make it respectful. Let's get 2 out of 3 this weekend and split the car. That's all I'm asking for. I'm asking for a 4-3 record after these next 7 games. That's it. You do more than that, I'll be happy. I'm good, But don't give me no 2-5 bull. I don't want no bull sugar like that. None of that. Okay. I want 4-3 and above, please. Let's do this. Hey. things are getting good. It's every game is important, and I love watching every game, and it makes it that much more entertaining. And man, at the edge of your seat, you're like every at bat matters now because it's at that time. I don't care what anybody says. It's at that time when it comes to these teams, especially the National League, switching over to the American League. Man, you have the Yankees. They already got that wild card spot, and that's where they're going to stay, the number one wild card spot. So now it's more so who's going to be the second team, and that can be anywhere from the Oakland A's, the Houston Astros. Yes, believe it or not, it can be the Astros or the Mariners, who are they're about to be pushed back a little bit more after they lose this series to the Dodgers. Let's keep that a secret. But the Mariners are 2.5 behind the Oakland A's for that last wild card spot. And the reason why I say do not be surprised if the Astros end up in that second wild card is because they have a series against the Oakland Athletics this weekend, and they have a 2-game lead. So if the Oakland A's figure out a way to take 2 out of 3 and gain a game or sweep and take the lead, man, that's going to make that division a lot more entertaining. And it's already entertaining. That's the best division when it comes to competition in the American League because you got those 3 teams trying to get 2 spots. We'll see how it ends up. Oakland A's, Houston Astros this weekend, big series. I didn't mention the Red Sox and the Indians. They got that wrapped up. Indians are going to end up being the number 3 seed, and the Boston Red Sox are the best team in baseball. Nothing for me to say there. They continue to slaughter teams and win series after series after series and 50 plus games over 500. So not much to say there. But again, another great weekend in baseball is about to unfold. These games matter. Diamondbacks, like I said, they got the Padres this weekend, so they're going to make hay, unfortunately, but got to give them respect. They're leading the division. The Diamondbacks here in Arizona are in the division lead. 1.5 over the Rockies, 2 over the Dodgers. And yeah, I mean, Yasiel Puig starts his 2-game suspension today. I mentioned that yesterday. He got suspended for a little melee he had with the catcher. And so he won't be playing tonight. He won't be playing Saturday night. Remains to be seen if they put him back in the lineup on Sunday. But if somebody gets hot in his position, don't bring him back yet. But pretty sure he'll be back by Sunday. Yasiel Puig is the heart and soul of that team when it comes to just passion. And yesterday, my phone was going off during the show. It's going off again. Stop it. Man, it doesn't even ring the whole day. Now I do the show and it wants to ring. Actually, I got people calling me all freaking day, and it's people I don't know, so I don't answer. Y'all don't answer your phones if y'all don't know who it is, right? But that's just me. So when it comes to the baseball news, that's all I got for y'all today. It's more so just a recap of what's been going on these last couple days. Football, full effect. The Des Bryant thing, still nothing secure there when it comes to a contract. Des Bryant's actually already left Cleveland, but they're still working out some things and probably get a contract hashed out. The Browns are playing the Bills today, so you kind of know they're not going to want to, they're not going to be there when they have a game tonight. They got other things to do. Des Bryant, he can sign over the weekend. Once that happens, I'll let you guys know that Des Bryant doing his thing in Cleveland, and I expect him to sign with Cleveland on a 1-year deal. Remains to be seen. Nothing official yet. I had spoken last week about Major League Baseball and this whole thing they're doing August 23rd to the 25th, I believe, or 24th to the 26th, where they're letting the players be themselves, express themselves with nicknames on the back of the jerseys for the games, and just be them, be happy, be goofy, we'll put awesome nicknames on the back of the jersey to add to the game, for the fans or whatnot. And the NFL seems like they're listening a little bit. They're listening. So they used to do the pregame cleats where you can have a message, and it was one game. They did it last year for one weekend. So now what they're going to do is from weeks 12 to week 16, every team's going to have a home game where they can have the message on their cleats. I believe it's for the game as well. If not, then that's bull. That's some more bull sugar. Hopefully it's for the game. But every team will have a home game where they can express themselves, own their cleats, send a message. Again, nothing derogatory, nothing, illegal. You can't put nothing like that. You can't modify the NFL logo. You can't modify your team's logo, anything of that nature. You can add to your cleats or whatnot, but that's a step in the right direction. Still can do a little bit more. Hopefully that's for the whole game and not just for pregame, because that's whack. No, we're not watching pregame. Yeah, they're gonna, have little things and say, "Oh, look at the shoes, this, that, and the other." But we want to see these guys playing with these shoes, man. Give them that game with the shoe, with the message. But everyone's getting a home game, able to do it. So you're gonna have 32 games where you have these personalized cleats in full effect. Hopefully it's for the game. I couldn't find it if they're going to be able to do it for the game or not. I think they should. Remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. You're going to have to tune in to find out. But you don't need me to tell you to tune into NFL football, because obviously, if you watch this and you know about me, and if you're watching this, I know that you love football. If you don't watch this, then I got questions. I don't know if you like football or not. But yeah, anybody that watches this, man, much love and respect. Thank y'all. Whoever it is, I got support. I take it anyway. I'll do it no matter what. I could have this many viewers, and I'll do that. And I'm close to this many viewers, but that's all right. I continue passion. I have a lot of passions, but this is one of them. Sports has just been my thing since I was a kid. So, man, and being able to talk about sports and put my opinion out there, might as well do what you're good at and see what happens. But yeah, thanks again for joining me on the Fast Break Sports Hour here on YouTube on the Fast Break channel, the Fast Break Sports Hour channel. But I am Fast Break, aka Jesse, and let's get it kicking with the next four of my NFL power rankings, which is 16 to 13. You know what? You know what I haven't done, and I don't know if it's going to work too well, but I don't care. I'm going to try it. Is I haven't had any little background music while I'm talking about these teams and their power rankings. So let's try that. I'll turn it down and then see what happens. And if I listen to this and I watch it and it didn't come out right, then I don't care. It is what it is. But we're trying it. We're trying new things here on the Fast Break Sports Hour. Let's see what's cracking. What do I want? Boom, boom. Man, I'll do this. I don't care. It's a little happy stuff, but I got turned down, all right. All right, that's a little bit too low. I don't want no ads, bro. Man, again, and I used to say this on my first shows, is the Fast Break Sports Hour is live. There's no cuts, no edits, no rehearsals, no redos. It is what it is, because that's what we do, off the cuff, and that's how we like it. Yeah, I do a little bit of research before I come in here, but that's about it. I don't have no I wish I had a teleprompter. That would make my job so much easier, and it wouldn't even be a job. I'd be like, man, y'all got the life. But this is what I do. So let me get just a little bit, Hopefully you can hear a little bit. So with that, number 16 on the power rankings, I have a team that's going to ride high this year. The San Francisco 49ers at 16. What can you say about Jimmy G? Undefeated as a 49er, undefeated as an NFL pro, 7-0 in all, 5-0 as a Niner, and showed a lot in a small amount of time with the 49ers, whether it be the scheme that Kyle Shanahan runs, but the 49ers, they added Jerick McKinnon. They're just going to continue to excel and to blast off into the top of that division. Not going to win the division. They're going to battle for the division, though. They're going to have a pretty good record. I have them making the playoffs, actually. If you watch my 2018 NFL show with Angel from the Mile High podcast, that was the first show I did. Check it out. It's on here. Scroll down and find it. But I have the 49ers making the playoffs. He has the 49ers making the playoffs as the number 1 seed. I have them making the playoffs as a wild card. So I see a lot of big things. Jimmy G, I believe he's going to be a great fantasy football pickup if you guys do that. So look out for the Niners. I think they're going to be a very explosive team this year. Nothing to where it's like the Rams or the greatest show on turf, but they're going to be a pretty good team, playoff team at that. I have them at 16, but they will continue to rise into my rankings. But they got to show something first in the regular season. At number 15, my heart, my soul, the orange, the dark blue. This one's for John. The Denver Broncos are number 15. So you know what? Y'all can say that's a little bit too high, but this is me being very, very, very unbiased. Because if I was biased, I would have them in the top five. I do have them making the playoffs as a wild card, but I have them at 15 right now. Again, they got to show something. The addition of Case Keenum is big for me, because you got a playoff quarterback now. You don't have all them backups trying to fit a spot with all the talent around that they have, especially on the defensive side. Man, Von Miller, come on, man. That secondary, Chris Harris and Bradley Roby, Justin Simmons. You still got Brandon Marshall Baton for the linebackers. Bradley Chubb was the number 5 pick. Best defensive player, in my point of view, drafted this year. And then that line with Derek Wolfe. You have Damata Pecco. And you also have Shane Ray, even though he's coming back from a little hand issue that he's been dealing with, and Shaquille Barrett. That team's full force when it comes to the defense. Offense, you still got Demaryius Thomas. You got Emmanuel Sanders. But here, pay attention and keep this a secret. Watch out for Cortland Sutton and Royce Freeman. That's all I'm saying. Watch out for that. But the line should be slightly better, especially with the quarterback being able to get rid of the ball a little bit faster. So that's why I got the Broncos at 15. I spend a little bit more time on the Broncos because I can. It's my show. Yeah, you don't like it? Stay here. Number 14, the Kansas City Chiefs. They were in the playoffs last year. They're not in the playoffs for me this year because of the quarterback change. Not to say that Alex Smith was out of this world, but when Alex Smith has a talent around him, he produces. Patrick Mahomes, I believe, will soon be one of those types of quarterbacks, but still young, still going to go through growing pains. So that's why I have him just right outside the top 10 at 14. They still have the weapons on offense. Defense, they lost a couple pieces there, but I still expect them to put up points in some of these games, but they're going to have issues. I like this part. But some games he's going to have his issues because he is a young quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs, number 14. So there you go. I'm being unbiased again because I hate the Chiefs, but I have them one spot ahead of the Denver Broncos. It's a show me type of thing. So show me type of league. Once the Broncos start winning, you can jump over those teams and vice versa. At number 13, the New York Giants, another team that drafted in the top 5, like the Denver Broncos. They actually drafted number 2, drafted Saquon Barkley, which is the main reason why I see this team making that big leap. I do have them as a wild card team. Right now, 13, right outside the top 12. At number 13, because again, you got to prove it, but I'm going to put you at 13 because I believe their offense is going to be very good. You got Evan Ingram in the second year, who was an awesome tight end last year. Eli Manning, obviously, the veteran. He's going to have up and down games, but more so he's going to be able to run that offense the way it should be ran. I like Eli Manning more than others. You got, obviously, Odell Beckham. Still have things to work out with the contract and the extension. Get that done. And Sterling Shepard. That line got better. They got Nate Solder, who is a soldier. But oh man, what Will Garcia? No, Will, man, what was his last name? Why do I want to say Will Garcia? Oh man, I guess every Hispanic player has a G last name. I can't believe I just lost his last name. But they drafted him in the second round, interior lineman, and expect him to. He's a hog. He's a boss hog when it comes to just mauling on the defensive interior lineman. Obviously, he's a rookie, but that offensive line is going to be so much better this year. Nate Solder protecting Eli Manning's blind side. That's a big thing. And the defense, they added Alec Ogletree. They still have Landon Collins. They still got Jackrabbit back there. So not much change in there. They added a middle linebacker to kind of patrol the field and be the leader along with Landon Collins. So I see a lot of, a better showing from the New York Giants. But again, you got to show it to me or else I'm going to put you back down to where you're supposed to be. But I have them as a wild card team. And that's what I got. That's what I got for the power rankings. That's what I got for the show. I got to put my clothes to dry because I got to get this clothes and go to work. Yeah, yeah, I work, man, but I wish I didn't. But man, just live life, love every day, and understand that you're lucky to be living in this world, and just to be alive and having a chance to make a name for yourself. I'm Fast Break, aka Jesse. Thank you for watching the Fast Break Sports Hour. Check out to see when I do my next show. Might be tomorrow, might not be till Monday. But enjoy your weekend in sports. Enjoy your weekend in general. Man, go out there and have fun. Have fun every day. Live your life the way it should be. Yeah, I'm out.